perfect match, so ring the wedding bells. Last year's bridesmaids dance off on a history-making honeymoon up and down the West Coast. A disengaged pitch unveils a hitch, but the Mario kind grooms it better the second time around. The old, the new, and the borrowed too plan to catch a fall bouquet and continue to say I do. A circuit judge takes out a license and performs an elopement down the aisle. A long marriage ends in divorce with a civil ceremony, but not for lack of love. A best man vows a lifetime commitment, and with the power vested in me, I'll pronounce it for y'all on This Week in Baseball. American League hoopla. The wins came in waves for 34-5 Detroit, tying Washington's league record, 16 straight on the road.
When September comes, we'll be there. Now, there ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When September lands, Detroit Tigers will be in the race. I don't know whereabouts we'll be. I think we'll be very close, either leading or be right on somebody's heels. But we're a good baseball team. Everybody, that's the one thing they want to understand about this team.
We understand this, Sparky. The Tigers are deep. Take Rusty Kuntz, for example, 4 for 8 in 2 games against Seattle, with 3 runs driven in and 5 runs scored. Nothing to it, but a whole lot to Johnny Grubb's pinch hit performance against the Mariners. Going, and that ball is long gone. Additional evidence of Tiger power off the bench. So is the reserve catcher Dwight Lowry, who filled in ably against Oakland with his first Major League home run when Detroit took 3 from the A's for its 10th series sweep this year. How about that? Want more? Well, how about Marty Castillo, who played third base in a game against Oakland and delivered a run-scoring single? No wonder almost every Tiger opponent has been bewildered, bothered, and bewitched. Regulars like Lance Parrish have helped Detroit compile a team batting average above 300. Parrish went 4 for 6 in 2 games against the A's with 2 RBIs and his 3rd game winner. Dan Petrie is part of an overpowering 1-2-3 Tiger pitching punch. Petrie jumped off to a 7-1 record. Jack Morris also got a win against the A's to go 8-1, the first 8-game winner in the majors this year. Milt Wilcox was undefeated at 6-0, giving the Tiger trio a remarkable 21-2 start this season. Everybody was pitching in as Detroit continued to demolish records for best starts in Major League history. In New York, the slow-starting Yankees were silenced by the calm and collected California Angels, who grabbed hold of first place in the West with help from a double-dealing defense. DeCinces won the opener in the 10th with home run number 7 and game winner number 6. But the Angel revival is due in part to the team's younger players.
They realize that they've got a long way to go to learn a lot of things about the game of baseball. And, you know, the best thing that could happen to a young ball player who's going to have a long career in the game is to be on a team with veterans and see how to do it the right way.
Ron Romanek did it the right way, tossing a 3-hit shutout to give the 23-year-old rookie a 5-3 record. Jeff Zahn tied up the Yankees as well. He surrendered 9 hits, but was cagey enough to get a shutout of his own and match Romanek with a 5-3 mark. The only missing link for the Angels appears to be the relief corps.
Our starting pitchers have done a fine job. The consistency has to come from the bullpen. And last season, we went into something like 36 ball games, either tied or ahead in the 7th inning, and lost them. So in order to be there, we have to be consistent out of the bullpen and not the starters. The starters have done a very good job up to date.
Luis Sanchez has had to carry the load in relief, and he's done it so far with 4 saves and a 4-1 record. At the plate, rookie Gary Pettis picked up the Angels plenty in New York, going 5 for 9 in the last 2 games with 2 runs batted in and his first game-winning hit this season. Pettis also provides some exceptional speed for the California Ball Club.
With Gary Pettis, he's added a dimension to the ball club, the Angel Ball Club, that it hasn't had, and that's speed and the ability to make things happen. He's a very fine defensive center fielder right now with a good, accurate arm, and he gets on base. He can make things happen for this ball club, and he has shown that already.
Yes, the Angels figure to be contenders all year in the West. In Minnesota, the Twins have unceremoniously marched into contention as well, and Dave Engel is a big reason. With a batting average above .360, Engel ranked 2nd in the league. Kent Herbeck is also making a big contribution. A batting average near .320, plus 6 home runs and 24 RBIs. The Twins seem to have turned around their pitching as well. Frank Viola was 4 and 5, but his ERA was under 3, and he'd tossed 2 shutouts. New Twin Mike Smithson leads the staff with a 6 and 4 mark, and Minnesota's been winning enough to move into 2nd place in the West. In Chicago, catcher Carlton Fisk went 4 for 5 with 2 RBIs in the White Sox 7-6 victory over Kansas City. But more significantly, Fisk became the 2nd player in the league to hit for the cycle this year. A single, double, triple, and home run in 1 game. Just 2 weeks earlier, Cal Ripken did it for Baltimore. Way to trudge, Pudge. Jim Palmer, released after 18 seasons with Baltimore, 3 Cy Young Awards, 268 wins, a career 2.83 ERA. But this year, the 38-year-old was 0-3 with an ERA over 9.
Well, I really don't want to be here, and I'm going to leave if this gets too emotionally, so I'm involved about this, but I thought should start with a joke. It's the only way I'm going to keep from crying, I think. That is, this is a heck of a way to get out of going to Rochester.
And now it's time for this week's Volkswagen quiz, brought to you by the 1984 models. It's not a car, it's a Volkswagen. Yogi Berra's New York Yankees have sure had a tough go of it so far this year. The legendary Bronx Bombers were shut out 10 times in their first 38 games. The season record is held by the 1908 St. Louis Cardinals, whitewashed 33 times that year. But only 1 team in Major League history went an entire season without being shut out. Now, for this week's quiz, can you name that team? Stay tuned for a club that never gave its fans a Great Depression.
Never failed.
National League Vista. In San Francisco, the high-stepping Phillies became the first team in league history to sweep a West Coast trip. 9 straight over the Padres, Dodgers, and Giants. Juan Samuel went wild in Frisco, hitting .500 in the series with his 3rd home run and 4th game winner. The 23-year-old rookie stole 2 bases, too, and was 2nd in the majors with 25. He was also among the big league leaders in base hits, runs scored, and triples. Mike Schmidt kept his average near 300 by blasting home run number 12, good enough to lead the league. And Mike was 2nd in the league in RBIs with 33. Philadelphia's pitching staff also crossed him up on the coast. '83 Cy Young winner John Denny won 2 on the trip to go 4-3 with a 1.65 ERA. Charles Hudson also won a pair out west, improving his record to 5-2. The Philly bullpen rock gave the Giants quite a shock. Al Holland got 2 saves in San Fran and 4 on the coast overall to raise his total to 9, second most in the league. And the Phillies stormed into second place in the East. In Chicago, the confident Cubs kept hold of a winning hand and stayed on top in the East, causing the fans to flip their lids. Leon Durham was bullish as ever in a sweep of Houston, 6 for 11 in the series, with 2 home runs and 8 RBIs, lifting his average near 330. But all the Cub bats were pointed with power, as Chicago smacked 35 hits and scored 22 runs in the 3 games. Took the opener on a bases-loaded walk in the 9th inning, giving them 8 wins this year on their last turn at bat. Chicago showed thumbs up to their boisterous boosters in Game 2 because the Astros were all thumbs, as a throwing error by pitcher Bill Dawley enabled a winning run to score. General Manager Dallas Green also liked the look of Cub pitching. Rick Russell continued his comeback climb with his first win of the season, and it came just 3 days after Russell turned 35. Rich Bordy got his first Major League victory, allowing just 1 run and striking out 4 in 5 innings. Lee Smith locked up save number 7, and Chicago displayed heart with its best start since 1977. In St. Louis, the Cardinals made their point by sweeping the smiles from the faces of surprising Cincinnati. George Hendrick was looking mighty good in the first 2 games. In the opener, he went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and game-winning hit number 7. In Game 2, Hendrick was even better. 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs and another game winner, number 8, to lead the league. Lonnie Smith was also sharp-sided, hitting .333 against the Reds, slamming his 3rd homer and scoring 5 times. Porter had missed almost 2 weeks with an injury, but he came back with a bang, a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 9th inning to win Game 3 and complete the sweep. Joaquin Andujar had his eye on a victory, and he got it by going all the way and giving up just 1 run to become the first 7-game winner in the league this year. Focused on his 2nd win and 2nd save, notching both against Cincinnati by striking out 4 in less than 5 innings of work, as the Cardinals cooled off the Reds and climbed above 500 to join the chase in the East. In San Diego, speedster Alan Wiggins took over the Major League lead in steals with 26, and he got there by swiping 5 bases in 1 game against Montreal to match the modern National League record. Only the 5th player in this century to steal 5 in 1 game. Cincinnati's Mario Soto has been a strikeout machine this year, and against the Cubs recently, he struck out 4 in 1 inning. There's 1. And there's 2. A drop 3rd strike on number 3 enabled the batter to reach first base, but the misplay did not mess up the scintillating Mr. Soto. He came right back for strikeout number 4 in the inning, the 17th time it's ever been done. Soto struck out 8 Cubs to go above 1,000 for his career. Now, let's go on to the answer of this week's Volkswagen quiz. In 1932, Joe McCarthy's New York Yankees became the only team ever to go an entire season without being shut out. In fact, from August 1931 to August 1933, this club scored in a record 308 straight games. Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig led the Yankees to a championship in '32. Ruth hit .341 that season, while Gehrig hit .349. This Baseball fans can get mighty gamey, especially when the critters on the field make misplays unfit for man or beast. So what do you say we start the hunt for that rare breed of ball, the one that's not captured? You've just got to bear with it, fans. It's best to keep your emotions caged up or you might flip out, because it's tough to tame those varmint baseballs and bring them back alive. After all, the bobble will never be extinct. Time to cut the horsing around, because if this creature feature were any wilder, we'd be talking to the animals. Time now to applaud a pitcher's favorite play. 2 outs for the price of 1. So sit back and see double. How about 40-year-old pinch hitter Rusty Staub of the New York Mets? He's at it again this year, batting almost 400 in the pinch. Last season, Rusty tied the all-time record for pinch hit RBIs with 25 and was second in overall pinch hits with 24. In his first go-around with the Mets, he helped lead the team to the World Series in 1973 against Oakland. And he's used the pitchers to help him collect almost 2,700 career hits.
I try to really cut down on my stroke and just, be as light as I can with my hands on the bat and just get the bat head out and let him do all the work as far as, how far the ball's going to go.
For Rusty, getting hot as a pinch hitter means staying hot while he's waiting for the call on the bench.
I try to keep my body temperature up, especially in the circumstances where I think I might be used in the next inning. I don't think you can sit on the bench the whole 9 innings and be ready to pinch hit. At least I can't. And I think during my time in the American League when I DH'd, that probably helped me a little bit in adjusting as a pinch hitter. But you just can't sit on the bench. You got to keep your body temp up.
Last year, Staub nearly overheated, tying the Major League record with 8 pinch hits in a row and batting almost 300 in the pinch.
Being a pinch hitter, when you're going good, you're on top of the world. But 3 out of 10 is a great season, and that means 7 times you're going to be down, and you try to just pick each other up during those down moments.
In 22 big league seasons, Rusty compiled a .280 career average with careful attention to the whereabouts of his bat.
The only thing I do with my bat is make sure some dumb pitcher doesn't pick it up and use it in batting practice. So I put it in my locker.
Even as a full-time pinch hitter, Rusty's remained a power at the plate because he's constantly thinking about every at-bat and even every pitch.
I just go to the plate with some idea in mind. If you fall behind the pitcher, you just have to be ready to just knock him off. You know, you have to concede a little bit to him when you're behind, and whatever he does to you, you just have to fight him as best you can.
Staub has always been a fighter, and this season he's helped the youthful Mets battle their way into a contending position in the East. Now it's time for the Big Stick Award, brought to you by new improved Old Spice Stick deodorant and antiperspirant. This week's winner, George Brett. George missed the first 33 games with an injury before returning to the Kansas City lineup.
I really don't know what to expect of my performance tonight. I'm playing third base. I haven't played third base in 7 weeks either, so it's going to be a surprise. I'm going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to show a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of hustle, and try to let the people know that I've really missed not playing.
The Royals missed Brett even more. In his first game of the season, he went 3 for 3 against Texas with a double and a run scored. Congratulations, George. And that's all for now, folks. See you next week on This Week in Baseball.